Yes, yes. I'm excited. I don't know about y'all, but my M's are in the playoffs. I don't even want to talk about nothing else but the M's. So, tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we are here for another. We are here for another. What are we here for, guys? We're here for another edition of The Point. I'm Troy Miles. I'm here with Craig Murray and Ed Davis.
Okay.
I can't front. I'm tickled pink. My M's are in the playoffs. Now, you know, that hasn't happened for a long time, but that's okay. It's been a long time. But now tonight is that time. We're here to talk about the Sheroes of the WNBA playoff stars. Who's doing what? Who's getting it in? Who's getting busy? We got a full slate of things to talk about, and we're going to get to that right now. Now, fellas, we're here to talk about the ladies. Who wants to start? A lot of action going on tonight. We had the Lynx taking on the Mercury. That went down to the wire. Actually, it went overtime. Then we just had the Aces do their thing against the Fever tonight. Lots to talk about. Who wants to start?
Yeah, hey, I can get going here.
Come on, Craig. Tell us about it.
The funnest thing about the WNBA right now is that you don't know who's going to win these games. It's not like where you know, okay, these two teams are going to be in the finals. You know, we look at both. I mean, we talked about the teams that are in there,
Correct.
and now you know I'm more familiar with the Indiana, Las Vegas series, in that I've watched it closely and seen those teams, you know, really start to play at their best, both of them.
Right.
And it's just fun to see. I mean, you know, the first night of the series, you know, you had Indiana who really took control of that game and won that game right there. But then you come back tonight and the MVP comes and steps up, and it's like, uh-oh, here we go. We got a series. You know, so nobody's really taken hold of the way that you would think that it would be. And it's going to be exciting, I think, throughout the whole series.
Well, you had mentioned that we had talked about that in the last show, that the parody in the WNBA is unbelievable, and that is the fun part, because you know you have to play the game, and we just don't know. We went into the playoffs with a certain expectation because the numbers say so. You got the top ranked Aces coming in. You had the Lynx playing outstanding basketball. But you never know. And then when you mentioned the first game, Indiana took it to the Aces, and it was just the stellar guard play. And, you know, Aaliyah Boston, I think she did a commendable job on Asia Wilson in game one. And so now you had a redemption game, for so to speak, for Indiana tonight. They took it to them. But when you think about the parody, like you said, the Mercury, I mean, who's expecting them to do anything with Minnesota? But they actually came back from a huge deficit tonight and took care of Minnesota's big three. So it is fun to watch. And you're right. You just got to watch the game. You never know how it's going to go.
Yeah, I'm with you. That parody is it's shocking to me. I remember earlier I told you that I thought Minnesota, I thought New York would be back. New York just got knocked off the other day.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I was shocked. The league is nice. It's like you said, the parody is there. We don't know who's going to win this thing.
Yeah.
Look, like Phoenix looks like they're gonna be able to handle Minnesota. You know, so it's gonna be exciting, man. Watch how it turns out.
It's you know, when you start seeing these teams play at their top and they're playing at their highest level, I mean, that's why I look at a Minnesota, and you know, they made that trade for Carrington, and it was a big part. They you know, I was at the first game that she got traded to Minnesota, and she had just, you know, hopped on a plane and got there and played that night against the Storm and played really well. She was the reason why they ended up beating the Storm. And so her defense is critical for Minnesota. And so now she gets hurt. And now what does that do to them going forward? Can they recoup from that? Do they have somebody that can take that position where she was at and help them continue to ascend up to the top? Or does that injury hurt them going forward? So that's where, the parity and like we always say, an injury is something that can derail you from getting to where you want to be.
Yeah,
Correct.
she's their
So
best perimeter defender by
yes,
Yeah.
far.
yes, yes,
Like you said,
Well,
and that can hurt them in the long run.
yeah,
yeah.
and I
Yeah.
think the same holds true for Smith for the Aces. I mean, she's
Mhm.
traded from Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
She's playing against her old teammates, and you see that's the thing about the playoffs. You never know who's going to step up. It's always somebody that you don't
That's true.
expect that
Mm-hmm.
that plays a big role during the playoffs, and that's why and that's the exciting part to see who's actually going to give it to you because when you talk about the links, you know what you're gonna get from Nafisha. You
Yeah.
know what you're gonna get from McBride, and you know what you're
Mm-hmm.
gonna get from Williams. But it's the complementary players. I mean, you Jackie Young stepping up for the Aces,
Mm-hmm.
Wickham stepping up for the Mercury. You
Yeah.
just don't know who it's gonna be on any given night, and it's fun. I mean, because we talked about before the quality of play. I mean, the thing that's exciting for me, I was telling Ed this earlier, watching the ladies play conjures up memories of the old days for the fellas. And we know
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure I mentioned this too. You know, we talk a lot about the guys comparing and contrasting the WNBA with the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
I can say this collectively, we love the NBA.
Yes.
We love what those guys are able to do. We love the talent level. But just watching the WNBA play, the whole conceptual concepts are different. Like for example, it's refreshing to see a plethora of mid-range shots during the game.
Oh,
With
yes.
that being the
Mm-hmm.
goal, it's refreshing to see so many shots taken in the paint because it's still important to have an inside presence. I love
Yes.
that. I love watching
They
the
play the
game
game the
being
right
played.
way. They play it the
Yes.
right way.
I
Like we were
love
mentioning.
watching the
Yeah.
game being played inside
Yes.
out. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not that they don't take tough shots because they do. It's times where I'll think and say, well, that was a tough shot, or they could have got a better
Mm-hmm.
shot. Well, this it's but because getting into the paint, there's a premium on premium on getting good shots in the paint. There's
Yes.
a premium on mid-range shots. It just makes the offense more creative. Different things
Yeah.
come up, and
It's a
so
good mix. It's a good mix.
yes,
Yes.
it
Well, well,
is.
well, it's fun. It's fun seeing the balance. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
Yeah.
Like you're not watching an NBA game, and nothing. And I know the game is changed that way, but when you watch an NBA game and a team has shot 51 threes, you're sitting there going, Man, now I know you got to understand that. Hey,
Yeah.
that
Yes.
always isn't the best shot for you, and it's killing us right now." But they don't. They continue to just shoot them, shoot them, shoot them until you get to the playoffs, and then you find out, oh, okay, we can't live and die by shooting the
Mm-hmm.
three,
Well,
and that's how Oklahoma won it.
last year Boston won taking 53s a night.
50.
You
Yeah.
Yeah,
know, that's
yeah,
the crazy part. And when I'm watching I was watching the games tonight, these ladies are scoring at all three levels. All three
yeah,
levels.
yeah,
They
And
are.
so and what happens with inside of that, you're getting a whole assortment of EPs, which are extra passes, versus
yeah,
OPs, which is overpassing. Because when
yeah,
you're playing 5 out and you got guys dribbling the baseline and jumping up in the air and slinging
Mm-hmm.
the ball all the way across the court to the next guy standing there spotted up. Well, when you've got when with the different things I'm seeing with the WNBA, there's just a more of a variety of shots on goal, and I love to see
yeah.
that.
Yes. No, it's fun because it gets us to understand, okay, that makes sense to play that way and make
Mm-hmm.
those type of plays. And sometimes when and I hate to say it, sometimes when I watch the WNBA, I mean the NBA, I just shake my head and I go, I I know they can't be talking at halftime and going, man, those shots you just took are okay for us.
Some bad shots.
You,
Bad
you
shots.
And I think the NBA is kind of coming back to that a little bit. I don't know how much. I don't know if we'll ever get to the point where we used to see the game, balanced the way it was. But I
Hmm.
think I think some teams are understanding you can win without shooting 53s to win a game. You
Well,
know, so so
you're looking at the new breed of stars. You've got Ant and Shea. Those guys demand middle spot jumpers
yes,
because they can get them
Hmm.
and they're effective. And so you're right. You're starting to see a trend. It's starting to trend more towards a more of a vast array of different approaches as opposed to long threes and everything towards the cup. I mean,
Hmm.
that gets tiring. And even though, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I watch every game. I still love it. It's just that
right,
I'm appreciating what I'm seeing here because
yes,
it's not like they're infallible because I was just telling Ed, man, one of the knocks that I have, it's not even a knock. I just think it's something that they should look into. You guys every chance I get, I always tell you that I think that they should lower the ladies basket. The ladies
yep,
miss a lot of layups. They really
yeah,
do. That's the one thing I notice is there's a lot of layups missed. It's because for two reasons. Um, it's the if you ever messed around in the gym where you played on the 12-foot hoop and you're just messing around?
yeah.
I
It
mean,
just
it's
yeah,
weird. It
yes,
just it makes getting it changes the feng shui of body work. It makes getting shots up more difficult, and you see
Hmm.
that. And so but if they lowered that basket I really think that would change the game in a dynamic way for the positive, and you would really be able to appreciate the skill level
Athleticism. Yes.
and athleticism. I keep
yes,
saying
Hmm.
that over and over again because things change. I mean, that physical change would make a huge difference because you're already seeing like I said, fundamental demonstration. Like you take, for example, Asia Wilson's footwork is ridiculous.
oh
I
yeah,
mean,
It's
I
great
watch,
footwork.
I look at
Great.
her, I look at her, as a big. Conversely, I look at Courtney Williams. Her footwork is phenomenal. I think I was telling you earlier, Ed. People don't realize that a basketball player's feet are just as important as a hockey player's skates.
yes,
So if you're
Same.
not, I don't care how much skill you have, if you can't skate, you're not going to
Yep.
be as effective as you need to be out
Hmm.
there. That's what's fun to watch because I was gonna say like I watch Asia Wilson and you know what that I know this is old school. I'm going back in the day, but when I watch her play, man, I'm watching the Big E Elvin Hayes get down. I'm seriously when I watch Nafisha Collier, I'm looking at Alex English get down. I mean, that's what it reminds me of. The fundamental play, the lack of dependency on physicality to get over. I mean, Alex English was just long and lanky, two left feet stick out to the side, unstoppable though.
I don't.
yeah,
I have no idea how that dude scored the way he did. He,
yeah,
he,
yeah.
Same way,
he
same
didn't
way
look like he can play
Nikisha does.
basketball. Yeah,
Hey,
he did.
when you talk about footwork, because I live on being in the gym working on footwork. I do a drill that's called a dance step. And
Yeah.
so it's a dance step with your partner, and it's like you're working on being in flow with your feet, with what your mind is telling you,
Uh-huh.
but your feet got to be able to comprehend it and be able to do it. And so when you see some of these players and you see beautiful footwork, you go, they put time into that. That's not something that just automatically happens.
No.
You have
Hmm.
to discipline your footwork as much as you have to discipline your jump shot, your release. So just being able to see people play that way and it's artistry at its finest, and people take it for granted, because I've had some kids who come in the gym and I go, yeah, you can't ever go to the party with me because you can't dance. You know, you know, so
Yeah, yeah.
it's just fun to be able to see, like you said, somebody like a Asia Wilson and the footwork she has, and even the
Mhm.
guards. You look at
Guards,
a
thank
Kelsey.
you.
You
I saw Kelsey Mitchell come off of. They showed it on Sports Center. She came off of a pin down screen and coming to into her left hand into a shot, and her footwork was so pretty. Most of the time, a lot of girls will have to take a hop step to get into her shot.
Mm.
She went plant step right into the
not
shot, and
Kelsey.
it was so
Not
clean.
Kelsey.
I
Yeah,
was like, okay, now that right there is what basketball is about, right there.
that's right.
Yes,
You know,
man,
That's right.
the guard play was
Troy,
so
I mean, cut you off.
stellar.
You were saying a long time ago how a lot of players' footwork don't match their ball handling. And some do, like Kyrie Irving. His footwork matches his ball handling. So
yeah,
yeah, it's hard. It's hard to find players like that.
Well, see, I think that what I try to impress upon people, I tell players, look, man, dribbling is one aspect of ball handling. Ball handling is comprised of footwork, body work, and
yes,
dribbling in that order.
Hmm.
yes,
That's ball handling, and that's the beautiful thing about watching these ladies play. I mean, even somebody like Kayla McBride has handle. I
She
watched
does.
when I was watching Indiana, Odyssey Sims. The guard play from Indiana was ridiculous the other night, and tonight, Lexi Hall was a bucket tonight. It just and
yes,
that's the thing about it.
She's
The way
tough.
they yes, the way the guards break down and get into the paint, man. There's easy pickings from three. The 3-point shooters get to shoot get looks all night long. Sabali was getting looks all night long for Phoenix and was knocking threes down because of the guard play. Because the guards are able
Satu.
to yes, I too was man was
Yes,
and
Satu.
and your girl Alyssa, I think she had maybe 14, 15 assists tonight. I didn't understand that she had that type of regulation capacity. I see her as big, and I told you that she's big and rugged, but she really was facilitating tonight. I was really,
Oh
really, really,
yeah.
really
Yes.
impressed with how that girl was distributing the basketball tonight.
Hmm.
I mean,
yeah.
she was
I,
It's
Nafisha
not
makes
many in
me
the league
tough.
like her. She's like a diamond in the rough in the league. The way she plays with her size, she's a bully. She's a
Can,
bully.
can
Can handle it.
Can you imagine if she develops that 15 to 17 footer? Can you
yeah.
imagine?
I'll tell you the other fun thing about the series is this right here, and this is on the coaching side, is being able to watch coaches make in-game adjustments or next game adjustments is that's beautiful to watch too,
Hmm.
because now you're seeing the cream of the crop of coaches rising to the top, right? Because they're making those adjustments. You know, Indiana beat Las Vegas, but Las Vegas comes back and makes the adjustments that they need to make in order to win that game.
Hmm.
In-game
Yep.
adjustments. Minnesota is wearing Phoenix out. In-game adjustments
Yeah,
that you can't win a game like that when you're down by that much unless you make some adjustments to what you're doing out on the floor.
it,
So
it,
That's
it-
true.
that's fun to watch too, is to see the coaches and the chess match go on and as you're playing.
that's
So
the part because it's the smartest teams are having the most success. I mean
yes,
the way I give credit to Chelsea Gray too, man. She was you talk about a catalyst. You need that type of person, the unsung type person who's doing a whole bunch of things out there. Even I mean, yeah, flashy passes, but non-quantifiable things, making the right pass, those
Hmm.
types of things. I mean, to watch the backdoor cuts and things like that,
yes,
it just like you said, Ed, it's the right way to play. And
yes,
to
That's
see
it.
that type of consistent performance, and you like you said, Craig, the coaches are pulling the right strings. You're like, okay,
yes,
that that's
yeah,
that's a good that's a good adjustment. And they came especially like with Phoenix. Like I said, Phoenix was down 20 points in the third, and they
yeah,
came back
Came back and
deep
snatched him.
with
Yes.
started and it started on the defensive end. They were getting stops.
Mm-hmm.
They were flying to the ball. They were trapping. Next person was rotating up. And these ladies, they push the ball. The first response is not to dribble. The first response is ball out to the outlet person. I mean, the
Mm-hmm.
person already out at near half court, sideline side, like it's supposed to be. So
Right.
it's a lot of good, clean play, and it's refreshing to
Mm.
watch.
I did want to say something because I think we talked about this before, and I think I'm impressed. I'm impressed with, and I say Indiana because I think I've watched them more than any of the other teams. I mean, I've watched a lot of teams, but I've watched Indiana from last year to this year, the
Mm-hmm.
developmental process of who they become. Um, and it did take a head coaching change in order to get out of them what they had. And I heard Kelsey Mitchell talk about it, and I can't, quote her verbatim, but she said the coach that she has now gives her so much confidence because
That's good.
it's
Yeah.
90% confidence when you're
That's
playing.
it.
It's what it is. And so she said that she gives her just the confidence to be who she is out on the floor, which means she didn't really feel that before. And so when you look
Mm.
at Indiana, the reason why I'm so impressed is, yeah, Caitlin Clark is a hell of a player. There's no doubt about it. But they are balling without her.
Yes.
So that
Yeah.
tells you
Yes.
that
Uh-huh.
tells you how good they are and how they've grown as a team. And then I don't discount that was a key acquisition with Sophie Cunningham because you know what
Mm-hmm.
she brought to that team that they didn't have was
Toughness,
that tough
grit, and
was
grit.
that grit
Yes.
was that
Yep.
grit. And
Yep.
you can look at her and man, she's a beautiful girl and blah blah blah, but she don't play that, and you ain't gonna
Nah.
mess with. And I think that set a tone with how they were going to compete night in and night out. And it might have taken them trying to pick on Caitlin and her to stand up for everybody to go, hey, okay, this is who we are every night, night in and night out. So and then just to see them play, and to see where they're at right now, they're almost ahead of schedule.
They are.
Because
They
you
are
get
ahead of
Caitlin
schedule.
back in.
We were
They're the
talking
team that
about that.
they're the team I'm most surprised
Yeah.
but impressed with to this point. Because remember I told you earlier in the year I didn't think they would go far. Maybe a first round
Yeah.
knockout.
But
I was shocked.
now,
but they're playing well.
My
this is
Storms
gonna
ahead
be
of my Storms ahead of
Yeah.
schedule too. Might as well go ahead and say that.
Yes. Now you just got to find the right headpiece.
That's
You
interesting.
know.
Yes.
They were one bucket away from advancing to the semifinals,
Yeah.
and they replaced the whole coaching staff. Imagine that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which yeah, that's
Speaking of
you always
that,
never know how that's
they,
gonna go. That's
they,
why it'll be interested to see how the Knicks look next
I was
year.
you mean the Liberty? Oh, the Knicks. Okay, I was talking about the
No,
Liberty.
I'm talking about the
They got
Knicks.
rid of their
I
coach
want to
too.
see.
The
Yeah,
the, at the, at
you
the
know.
Liberty I watched in that game. It was just too much speed on the floor for the Liberty, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they got rid of the
I
coach. They just won it the year before, but you get rid of the coach. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I
It
don't
makes no
get I
sense
don't
to
get
me.
that either.
No, I
Yeah.
don't. It might be some stuff behind closed doors we don't know
Yeah.
about, but
Yeah, but I think too,
they play well.
the way this new style of leadership is
Mm-hmm.
if it ain't working right now, let's get rid of it. Let's
Yeah.
change it. And it's tough to see that.
Yeah, man.
Like I said, the Knicks and having Thibodeau, get them as far as they can. And don't get me wrong, I think Mike Brown's a good coach. Is he a good coach for where he's at, New York?
Yeah,
In New
I
York?
don't know.
Woo!
He's a
I
player's
didn't get that at
coach.
all because I,
Because really, the only next step you have without them being pissed off is how them New York they think they're gonna win it. They thought they
Oh,
were
of
gonna win it
course.
this time. So when you brought him in, you can't get knocked out in the first round. You know, you
No,
you can't
no.
do that.
Well,
Yeah, yeah,
that was tough because they okay. The knock on Tibbs is that his
r-
rotation is too short, right?
right.
But at the same time, he makes such quality adjustments game to game and even adjustments during the game. You got to
Yep.
give the guy some grace. That's the most winning you have done in a quarter of a century, and
Yeah.
you think you can do better.
Uh,
It's
That's
yeah,
the
that's
Knicks.
hey, that's the most winning you did in a quarter of a century. And you know what? Guess what your reward is?
fired.
You
Fired,
got fired.
gone,
Hey, no,
That's a
no.
gone.
cold piece right
Hey,
there.
no, no. You know what this reward is?
Uh,
That 30 something million that they still owe him.
yeah, there we
Yeah,
go. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I
Hey,
mean,
yeah,
not the money only matters if you don't have any.
right.
That's what I realized. And
that's
so
true.
Yeah.
I'm sure that his goal for himself is not to be stacking paper, is to be stacking
No,
championships, and he's a little
no.
frustrated by that. Back to the ladies. So
Yes.
so the Phoenix series is 1-1 going back to Phoenix. Um, I expect. What do you expect in that series?
That's Phoenix and the Aces, right?
Phoenix? No, the
Phoenix,
Phoenix.
No,
Phoenix,
Phoenix
Min-
and Minnesota. The
Phoenix and
Lynx.
Minnesota.
Minnesota. Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Minnesota. Look, Minnesota has a lot to offer, and
Yeah.
like I said, their big three is fantastic. Um, they're all the teams right now. But I'm looking at. I watched the game tonight, and you know they Phoenix can actually play better. They came back from 20 points down,
Uh-huh.
but they they can play better. I mean, I know that can be said of all the teams, but you watch how they were being effective tonight, and what buoyed them was like long they were hitting three after three after three
Hmm.
after three, and I don't know if that's going to be sustainable for them.
They're
They've missed a
playing
lot.
well though. They've been playing well the last few weeks, and
They
they
have. They
gelling
missed.
at the right time. It seems like it at least.
Yeah.
They're winning because of their defense,
Yeah.
and
And we know this though. What we know about every sport that we talk about when it comes to the highest of the high level, it's about the defensive side. It's
Defense wins
about
it for you.
it's about defense. About defense wins championships.
defense
Offense
and good
True.
wins a lot of
decision
games,
making.
but defense wins championships. You
Hmm.
Defense
know,
and good decision making.
yeah. And so that's why I say we got to take a better look at Minnesota and losing Carrington because that was their defensive leader out on the perimeter there.
It was, yeah.
So how will that affect them? What kind of adjustment will they make? You know, when they get to Phoenix, and that's what's fun about it is okay. They say a series doesn't start until you beat somebody. Somebody loses on their home court. Well, in
Hmm.
both series, they're 1-1. So I
Correct.
think you know
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
going what you're going back to Indiana and then you're going to Phoenix. And so now you're like, oh, okay, what is this gonna be? You know, and that's what's exciting. That to me is what's exciting and makes it must see TV, you know.
True.
Who's your
That's right.
pick? Who's your pick to win it at
The whole thing, or
the whole thing?
if I take the Aces right now if I had to. I think they're playing well as just like Phoenix. They're gelling at the right time. You know, they went on a long win streak before the end of the season, and it looked like I think they've gotten healthy. So
Yeah,
if I had to, if you had you held a gun to me, I'd say the Aces.
yeah.
But don't quote me on
I
that.
would
I've
yeah.
been wrong all, the whole season. So
I who you think, Craig?
Well, I think the Aces too. And the reason is because not as the MVP can give you a lot on the offensive end, but the MVP can also give you a lot on the
she
defensive
did.
end
She defended
of the
tonight. She
deal.
played D tonight.
And
She
You
played. She
yeah,
right.
and I
played.
think
She was tough
I think
tonight.
Yeah, I
Yes.
think she's the one that okay, and to me, they quiet as kept, they got the best coach. You
They
know.
There
they
you go.
you
Yeah.
You're
think
right.
so?
You're right.
Yeah.
With Jackie, I think Jackie and Chelsea put them over the top. Now, I think it's gonna be Minnesota and the Aces in the final.
Right.
Mhm.
I'm anxious to see how that goes. And let me tell you what I think that Minnesota has the advantage over the Aces. We're speaking past the Mercury right now and the Fever, but um, I think that I think that the speed of Minnesota may change the dynamic of that interplay between those two things. Um, Courtney Williams, I'm telling you, she is
Fast.
she is. I
Yes.
call her Pusher C. I mean that
Yeah.
girl. She reminds me, and this is I know I'm dating myself, but she really reminds me of Hal Greer, man. Hal Greer was fast, smart, rugged. I mean, she gets in the paint, she pulls up and knocks those mid-range shots down just like Hal Greer. Hal Greer would pull up at the free throw line on breaks, as you guys recall way back in the day. I mean,
Mm.
I really think that the Minnesota speed maybe something else. I mean, Caleb, I mean, and all their players, all their big three can handle the rock. Caleb McBride handles the rock
Mhm.
marvelously. Um, Caleb, I'm sorry. We know Cunningham, but Nafisha Collar handles the rock well. And then you've got those complementary big players that Minnesota has that
Right.
you were talking about, Craig. That
Yeah.
I think that's going to be the matchup, and
Yeah.
that's going to be interesting to see.
So you got Minnesota to get
And
Phoenix?
y-
I got Minnesota to beat Phoenix. I
Yeah.
can't
I got
see.
Minnesota over. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
Phoenix. Okay.
I just don't think that. I mean, no knock. Satu is nice, and I just don't think it's sustainable that they're going to win games knocking down all those threes. Now, they can prove me
There you
wrong.
go. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
what's
Yeah.
that, Craig?
No, like I said, I was impressed with Minnesota when I watched them live. And now I watched them live and they beat Seattle at Seattle without Nafisha playing.
Mm.
And they
Okay.
look good. And I was like, damn, they're good. So I expect them to come out of there. But like I say, it will be interesting to see how the injury affects them getting to the top of the food chain on that right there. So it'll
Mhm.
be interesting, and I'm looking forward to it. I mean, and I'm not looking past Indiana, and I'm not looking past Phoenix.
No.
I'm just saying those are the two teams. If you were to, like you said, if you were to put a gun to my head, I would say those would be the two teams to face each other, and then
Mhm.
I would say, you know what, and I would be surprised because the Aces when I thought they lost a lot when Kelsey Plum left. And
Mhm.
I thought that was a tough loss for them, but it seems like they've been able to recoup and
Look at
and
it.
and find a
Mm.
way to because I just thought she was such a key piece to what they were,
Well,
but I've been
Yeah.
impressed with how they've gone
well,
forward.
I think Dana Evans is unsung. I think she plays a vital role for them. She handles the ball. She pushes the ball up the floor for them. I think she's going to be more valuable in the next series if they do get past them and play Minnesota because she's a speed merchant herself. And then
Don't forget
they
about
have
Jewel Lloyd too. What about Jewel Lloyd? Don't forget about
Yeah,
her.
Jewel Hoy, she comes
Yeah.
in off the bench and she
Yeah.
does yeoman work. She knocks
Mhm.
shots down. She's smart. She's rugged. She has playoff experience. She has championship
yeah,
level
Mhm.
experience. So the Aces have all the pieces, and so but I really love the way Minnesota plays, even though they took it on the chin tonight. That
Mm.
was a very
Yeah.
winnable game. I mean, Phoenix was on the brink. I mean, they had to win tonight, and they
yeah,
did. So my hats
and,
off to them. And
yeah,
like I said, I was really impressed with the way Alyssa played tonight. She wasn't looking for her shots necessarily, but she was facilitating, and
Uh,
and they had
yeah.
people coming through, making plays.
Hey, I didn't get a chance to mention this. When I went and watched the Minnesota Seattle Storm game, I was able to sit right behind Minnesota's bench. And when we talk about coaches, they've got a hell of a coach. I love the way she coaches. I love the way
Mm,
she coaches. And she coaches just like you guys get coached.
yeah.
I remember one time somebody did something and she looked back at the people, her assistant coach. She goes, "What kind of was that?"
Of the heritage of every once again, fellas, we are at the end of another telecast. It's just like I said, it's just three guys having the conversation. We've been doing this for a long time. We're glad you can join us. If this is your first time, please smash that like button. Please smash that subscribe button. We'll be here every Thursday, 4 p.m. We're happy to have you. What do you guys got to say about it?
Oh,
Hey,
like and subscribe, man, and see you next week.
He
yeah,
said, like, subscribe.
and hey, if you get a chance, make sure you do watch the NBA or the WNBA
Definitely.
playoffs and finals here. It's must see basketball.
It really is. It's so refreshing. We said that before. It's fun to watch the ladies play the game in the fashion that we're accustomed to, and not to take away from the guys. It's just it's refreshing to see all the different things that we expect. It's in line with the philosophy that I have. I know it's in line with the philosophy that you have, Craig, and the things that you espouse, Ed, and they're absolutely must-watch TV. All right,
agree.
fellas. Well, we'll see you guys same place, same channel next time. Peace out.
See you then, man. Peace.
And we did another one.